talk about MMA. We talk about everything that is in the combat sports world. Professional entertainment or not, we got you covered. In the meantime, WWE, I was hearing rumblings, right, for a little while. A little bit about NXT, a little bit about WWE, about releasing people. And it was kind of taking a little while because I dropped a little bit of a nugget saying that some people were going to get released. I didn't know when, or didn't know who, or anything like that, but I knew it was coming. And in the process of this stuff that was coming, this morning, probably around, around 10, 11 o'clock our time?
Something like that. All I know is that I ended up sending the thing saying, wow, can you believe who was released?
And I was already all over it.
Braun Strowman, Lana, Buddy Murphy, Aleister Black. I mean, the thing about Aleister Black, Tristan, doesn't surprise me. He was...
To me, it did a little bit. Because
they let Vega go.
Correct. But they were building up this new guy. They had these... I'm going to butcher that word. The
vignettes.
Vignettes.
Yeah.
They had these vignettes. He debuts, basically kills Big E with the black mask.
Black mask.
And then all of a sudden, the black is gone. He's gone. And they allegedly, they wanted to write him off for 2 weeks with Big E and then bring him back. They called him up and said, yo, this is budget cuts. We're getting rid of you.
And that's the thing. They said budget cuts.
I love how they use that as an excuse when guys like Aleister Black is dying. Like his character was on death's door for what? A year? Maybe 2?
Yeah,
at this
ever
point?
since he got called up. He had a hot streak, and he got called up, and then it was
huge
just weird.
entrance at WrestleMania 35, I think it was.
And then it just got weird.
Yeah, it didn't. I don't know what their point is.
When you have
Strowman was released because apparently he knew his worth. Dude signed a 4-year deal worth $1 million a year. Yeah, that was definitely a budget cut.
But the thing though about that is like Aleister Black, he has everything you want in a superstar. The look, the swagger, the new generation of let's mix mixed martial arts with wrestling and have a cool look to it since The Undertaker.
And something that a lot of people, and there's a lot of people out there that still like death metal or like metal in general, the genre of music. Don't tell me that doesn't fit into this era, right?
And you can't tell me that you couldn't find ways to make Aleister Black relatable. There's no way you can tell me that he can't compete at an elite level. He was an NXT champion, Tristan.
And that's the thing.
He should have been an Intercontinental champion, a U.S. champion, or for crying out loud, a WWE champion.
Right.
With his demeanor and his charismatic vibe about him that's so up there with Undertaker.
And bro, and you're talking about professional wrestling, right? I've been a professional wrestling follower since I could walk, okay? From the NWA days to WCW, from NWA turning to WCW, to WWE, ECW, you name it, I've watched it all. I've been through it all the way up until I'm 36 years old, and I've never stopped wrestling. You could attest to that, right?
Right. I'm the only one that's been in and out.
Since WCW didn't really went under, you really don't care about professional wrestling like I do.
Not my fault.
But professional wrestling, to me, has always been a staple in television and what they have done. WWE is this conglomerate that is out there that is bigger and larger than life, like the UFC. But the thing is that you're telling me creative couldn't come up with anything for any of these people? Lana took how many table bumps for months?
Right. And then now it's like, oh, we're releasing you to budget cuts.
Lana did everything in her power to do what was asked of her, and you chew her up and spit her out.
This is what's funny about the budget cuts for these ones, Tristan, okay?
Because so you could dig a little bit deeper.
No. Let's just look at what's on the surface, bro. Like, Aleister Black, you put all this money into vignettes.
Yep.
you release him. So you go to start to push the guy, and then you release him. You put all this money into putting Lana through table after table after table after table after table after table after table. Complete company woman. I'll take the bumps all day long, like a trooper. Where most people would be like, yeah, I'm done, I'm toast. And then all of a sudden you put her with the tag team with Feel the Glow with Naomi.
And that lasts for a week.
No. She's still with the tag team.
Well,
and they're pushing it towards the title between them and then the tag team of Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. So you're pushing them. You put them in a high-level match at WrestleMania. So you start to push, and then we get a collapse, and then you're released. Buddy Murphy, this high-level push, sides with Seth Rollins, gets put in a love triangle with the Mysterios, makes it completely awkward. If you go back about 2 months, you'll understand how awkward that whole situation got if you listen to our podcast. So that got a little bit weird. But he got a big push finally going up to the main roster. That guy's one of the most athletically gifted guys on the roster right now. He's so athletically gifted, Tristan, that he started to remind me of Dolph Ziggler. But the only thing different is that Dolph Ziggler seems more of a company man and more of a yes person than what Buddy Murphy is.
He's a poor man excuse for a Heartbreak Kid.
Who?
Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, no doubt. Everything that says is either.
I used to like Dolph, but every time I now watch him, I'm like, dude, he's just a ripoff.
He's a carbon copy of HBK, Shawn Michaels, and what's his name? Billy Gunn.
Yes.
Rolled into one.
Yes.
He's not himself.
Dude, that reminds me.
That's what I mean. He's
to
a
get
company
off topic
man.
just a little bit, Sean. You know who also steals a character? My man, Dummy. Yeah. God, in NXT, is he seriously trying to be The Rock? Like, his whole shtick, his walk, how he talks, like The Rock. I was like, what happened to the guy that had a little bit of himself in Impact? Like, that guy's gone. Or NWA, that guy's gone. And they just freaking gave him Rock version 2.0. I just don't get it. But these wrestlers being released, Sean, there has to be something else going on within the WWE. There's been rumors.
Well, I heard on the big guy for wrestling on TikTok, Heel Josh, I think is what it is.
Okay, yeah.
I heard him speak today that he's got information that generally with like cuts like this, that there's underlying things that may be potentially leading. And this is me now taking it a completely left turn. Okay, this is me taking a rumor and putting the Ducross brothers spin on it. Okay, so his report when he was talking to his fans was that with these budget cuts, it's their way of the WWE's way of padding their numbers, on their financial numbers, because they're having one of their best financial years, even during a pandemic, than what they've had in recent company years, to the point that there's rumors that they're going to be up for sale. If they're up for sale,
this would make sense.
This would make sense, but also, again, you've got the biggest wrestling fan out there ever. Who has the most money?
AEW, Tony Khan.
Could we see the second coming of WCW buyout? That if this is legitimately an option, could we see Tony Khan
buy WWE
and show up on WWE TV? That's just a Cross Brother throwing out, taking a rumor.
Bro, that would be the biggest.
Spinning it.
That would be the biggest FU in the wrestling history. That a wrestler who loved WCW, that loved everything about WCW, that loved everything about Dusty Rhodes, that knew wrestling like the back of his thumb, that has taken a little bit of nuances from WCW, from WWE, and put his spin on it, from wrestling days from back in the territories.
And you know,
And then all of a sudden for him to go, you know what?
let me take another playbook. Let me take another page. So, because this is what we do. Mark Henry's with AEW.
Yes, he is.
Where is he from?
Houston.
He's from WWE.
Yes, he is.
So if the rumor is true and WWE is up for sale, and Tony Khan could be sniffing around that opportunity, why wouldn't Mark Henry go sign with AEW?
See, that's interesting that you bring up that because I listened to Mark Henry on Busted Open, and he was saying the conversation he had with Vince McMahon was amazing. And Vince McMahon basically said, hey, you go do you, big fella. Wait. Since when does Vince McMahon give one of your loyal wrestlers or company man for over 25 years the okay to go to the enemy? Now you're thinking.
Marinate on that a little bit.
Right?
Marinate it.
We're the new Cross Brothers. We'll
So, wait.
What else? What else you got?
So you've got that going.
Yes.
WWE's never been open-minded to working with others. But they are recently have been in discussions with sending some of their talent to MLW and allegedly has a deal with New Japan Pro Wrestling, who has a deal with AEW.
And did Tony Khan cut a promo
On WWE
about New Japan?
about Nick Khan.
There's only room for one Khan?
So you got stars in the sky that if you draw a line, you can connect the dots, and it's starting to equal as if there's something more brewing, or maybe that is just simply us making you think outside the box. But we are the Cross Brothers, and this is what we do. We make you think.
We give you a different spin on the hottest topics in the combat sports world. We give you something completely different and unique that you probably won't hear anywhere else. So that's either why you like
And the
us
thing, though,
or
we
you
didn't even
don't.
talk about the Braun Strowmans that was released.
Yes.
We didn't talk about.
Well, we touched on Braun Strowman because he signed a 4-year deal, $1 million per.
and he gets booted.
What the hell?
But you know what? We'll be right back. We got the Ball Brothers to talk about.